This is a PowerWorks podcast short with Glenn Power and me, James Pikeway. I heard the term supercharger, heard the term turbocharger. What are the differences?
I mean, they're both run by the engine, but the supercharger is the direct connection. So when the engine turns, it turns a belt, which we're all familiar with when it comes to AC.
Yeah.
Alternators, water pumps. In some cases, you have a drive belt off the engine, off the bottom pulley. Supercharger is no different. It just has a belt that runs a supercharger. So that means as soon as you start to turn, the supercharger start to move the engine. The supercharger's turning and compressing air. So there's no lag, which is one of the negatives on a turbo. Not on a modern turbo. To be fair, turbo lag on modern engines is very, very, very minor.
Yeah.
But a supercharger will kick out at about 3,500 RPM. It can't get any more efficient after that. Whereas a turbocharger will go right through the rev range because the turbocharger uses the exhaust
supercharger is pretty, so as you said, about 3,000 RPM.
3,000 to 4,000 RPM.
And then after that,
so just go down on any extra power.
So it's great at the start. No
and
finish.
They sound great.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. You get like a G charger off the old VWs or even like, they sound great.
Yeah.
But the turbo uses the exhaust gas. So as the exhaust gas passes through the turbo, it's basically like blowing on a fan.
Okay.
So it turns a fan, which turns a shaft, which turns a fan, which compresses air on the other side. Now that means that the faster the engine goes, the more exhaust gas it's going through, the faster the turbo spins. So that gets better at the top end. And, you talk about some of the famous turbo-powered cars like an Audi Quattro, horrible amounts of turbo lag on them as they were first developed. But variable vane, electronic control, all these things that now are on turbos, you get very little lag now, and that's why people have moved away from them. VW for a while in early 2000s, mid 2000s had a 1.4 litre 4-cylinder engine with a turbocharger and a supercharger on it, and that's where the TSI came from. And they did.
I always wondered that. That's thank you for that.
They did a 160 horsepower version. Now some of the rally and touring car specs that they did were like 350 horsepower out of a 1.4 engine with a supercharger and a turbo on it.
That's just insane.
They didn't last very long. We had them in the Golf. I think that was it. In the Mark 5 Golf it was. But even then we were doing a lot of repairs on them. They were heavy on maintenance, and we'd have things like timing chain stretching and stuff like that. So
back in the days,
fantastic.
timing chains.
Yeah, but it was a very, very smart system. Turbocharger wouldn't work. It was kind of bypassed until the supercharger wanted to kick out, and then as the supercharger wanted to kick out, the turbocharger would kick in. So there was constant power delivery, and it was very, very, very torquey.
Yeah, very nice.